targets per route run is more heavily influenced by the amount of time you spend on the field than any innate ability of the player. If you are on the field 10 times, then it's harder to have 100% targets per route run. If you're only on the field once, you can get one target and have 100% targets per route run. And obviously those are just, that's a bad example because I'm bad at examples. I'm just terrible at examples. But hopefully it illustrates why players with high targets per route run do tend to have less on-field time. And I'm measuring it through a stat a calculation I did, which is just route percentages, the percentage of players' routes by all routes ran by that team on a per game basis. Players with lower snap counts tend to have higher targets per route run, and that's probably, just thinking off the top of my head, because they're on the field to be involved in their offense, so being used more specifically and utilitarianly versus players who are just on the field much more often. And here we could probably break into whether players are involved in 3 wide receiver sets versus 2 wide receiver sets. If you just go down to 2 receivers on that team are much more likely to get targets in general or a higher target share, and they're much more integrated into the offense. But they have a harder time having higher efficiency stats, or they're less likely, should we say, to have a high efficiency stat or abnormally high efficiency stat, which is why players with high targets per route run, like honestly the best receivers in most classes, and if you just go through the 2014 class, Odell Beckham, Mike Evans, all these guys have over 20% targets per route run, which is the average. Around 19 to 20% is the average, and a lot of rookies average over 20%, but they are also on the field a lot, which is why it stands out. So if you have a low snap share or a low route percentage, the stat I'm looking at, and a high targets per route run, then it's much more likely to be a feature of how you are being used than it is something about your ability to earn targets.